Ozempic is going to kill the fast food industry as we know it. There's this study that found that when just one person in a household starts taking a drug like Ozempic, that whole household ends up spending almost 10% less on fast food in just 6 months. And already, 1 in 8 Americans have tried Ozempic. And if you think that doesn't sound like a lot, you're wrong. There are 3 reasons why Ozempic is the Jenga piece that could bring this whole fast food industry crashing down. Okay, very quick. Ozempic is a diabetes drug that was approved for weight loss in mid-2021. A year and a half later, obesity, the second leading cause of preventable death in the US, fell for the first time in more than 50 years. The drug does a bunch of things, but the main way it helps weight loss is through appetite suppression. Also, there's a bunch of these GLP-1 drugs, but for this video, I'm just going to refer to all of them as Ozempic. Okay, there you go. Now, here's why it will demolish fast food. First, Ozempic goes straight for fast food's most important customers. To understand this, you have to know that fast food doesn't care about all customers equally. In 2003, a group of teens sues McDonald's. They blame its aggressive marketing for causing their obesity. In that case, the McDonald's VP basically says, look, it makes sense that we focus on certain groups. 75% of our sales come from super heavy users, people who eat McDonald's 10 or more times a month. Our whole business model relies on them. McDonald's wins the case, but this little nugget of information matters a lot. If the majority of McDonald's sales come from just a handful of people, Ozempic doesn't have to affect every customer to deal serious damage to McDonald's bottom line. It just has to jeopardize this small group of super heavy users. And that's exactly what Ozempic does. Ozempic's prescription guidelines require patients to be classifiably obese. And there's endless evidence that the people in this super heavy users category are nearly guaranteed to be obese. Fast food has faced challenges before.
I mean, what would happen if I ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days straight?
But things like bad press, documentaries like Super Size Me, mostly influence the habits of already health-conscious occasional customers. But Ozempic has the potential to change the buying habits of people in this super heavy users category that McDonald's and other fast food chains rely on. So even though, yes, Ozempic is only prescribed to 1 in 8 Americans, what matters is that nearly all of the super heavy users that the fast food industry relies on fall into the exact group that Ozempic is meant for.
Will Ozempic end the restaurant industry as we know it?
Second, Ozempic is spreading around the world, and that leaves fast food with nowhere to hide. Normally, when challenges arise in the fast food market, fast food companies benefit from this multinational chain system. When Super Size Me hit the English-speaking world,
sales are falling at McDonald's.
McDonald's just relied on sales in 100 other countries until things returned to normal. And same for all these fast food chains. They're diversified, they're global, and that helps them stick around when consumers in one country get less interested. But in the face of Ozempic hurting sales, being global doesn't really help. Sure, it's big in the US, but it's growing everywhere. Big markets like China, small ones like Saudi Arabia, everywhere. So the usual safeguard for fast food companies, relying on other markets while you wait out the storm, that isn't an option. And even if it was, Ozempic isn't something that will just blow over. It's not a documentary, it's not a New Year's resolution, it's not a podcast convincing people to be better. It's a direct intervention into fast food's greatest weapon: appetite itself. Which gets us to the third and final reason this will spell the end of fast food.
I'm here to speak with you on parallels between addictive substances and processed food.
Ozempic disrupts the exact craving loop that the entire fast food industry is built on. Really, appetite suppression is a little broad. More specifically, Ozempic decreases cravings for fat and sugar. People still eat, but they aren't driven by the type of dopamine hit that they normally get from just the right burst of either of these. It stops this loop where people crave fat and sugar, then they impulsively seek it only to have that sweet dopamine hit train their brain to crave it again. It reduces what researchers call food noise. And that's good. But for the fast food industry, that's a problem. Fast food isn't about making the best food. It's about making the most addictive food.
There are 40 members of McDonald's innovation team, chefs, scientists, and marketing specialists.
It succeeds because this loop works. Companies spend a lot of money specifically researching how to deliver these bursts of fat and sugar in the right way to keep people stuck in this loop. If Ozempic breaks that, the marketing strategy, the product strategy for the entire fast food industry as we know it breaks. Some fast food companies are trying to adapt, reducing portion sizes, adding protein-first stuff to their menus.
Chipotle's new high-protein
But this is no replacement for their former addiction-based strategy. If enough of the very heavy user base breaks free from this dopamine loop, if they're no longer hooked by a sugary drink or a high-fat meal, fast food chains will be forced to compete in a market where people calmly compare what food is best for them. In other words, they just become food.
Rich and poor, whatever nation, it is the
There's this Jubilee episode from last year featuring Brian Johnson, this health advocate famous for his goal to live forever,
The only objective is don't die.
taking on 20 of his skeptics. One of his claims is,
No one should ever eat fast food.
it's honestly surprising how much pushback there is to this.
I'm going to be real here. I actually love fast food. In fact, I eat it once every 2 weeks.
But there's one spot where he summarizes the big picture really well.
We should stop asking companies to make poison that we consume. If we stop eating it, they will want to make money by making food that's better.
I remember when I first watched this, I was kind of pessimistic about it. Obviously, companies respond to incentives, to changes in consumer behavior. But as much as I thought that change needed to happen, I didn't really see how it could. For many, food behaves more like a drug than a normal thing you buy. These aren't decisions that people are making with their rational minds. They're made by a chorus of irrational food noise.
cream free.
But this actual drug kind of changes how I think about that.